Hey, welcome back everybody to episode 3 of my construction channel. So in episode 3, we are going to be doing a basement renovation. So right now the client has a unfinished basement and she's hiring me to solve her problem and make it a finished basement. So the client's main issue is that she's living with a couple of her family members at home. A lot of times they work from home. They just really need more space in the house. So she has this big basement that she can, utilize. So what she really wants is she wants an office space down there. She wants a living room and she wants a bathroom because she also does have a pool in the backyard. She has an entryway going into her basement. So instead of everybody crowding around for cookouts outside the hallway to the bathroom, why don't you have 2 bathrooms? So keep watching the video and see how we solve this client's problem. As you can see, this client really just used her basement as storage like the most of us do. Everything is actually in good shape though. I mean, the foundation walls are in really good shape. The slab, there's no cracks or anything like that. The only thing that's really in our way is this plumbing, which isn't a problem. It just takes a little bit more work, a couple extra dollars, and we can reroute this and we'll have more headroom for our bathroom that we will be putting there. So let's look at our plans. On the left side, this is how the basement currently is right now. On the bottom right, that's where the stairs are. And then those 3 dots, those are the lolly columns. And the blue is where that plumbing drain is currently in our way that will have to be moved. On the right side, that is how it's going to look. So you have your office space at the top, the bathroom right in that hallway, leading down to the sewage pump, which is right next to that plumbing stack. Makes everything easier and cheaper for the plumber to do. And then you have the living room open there, so you could put a nice TV, a nice couch, and everybody can be comfortable. In this part of the video, we're still in our early layout process, trying to see what makes the most sense. For the bathroom, this is what we Googled. We looked at a bunch of different images, and this made the most sense for this basement, and the homeowner liked it a lot. Now this is the more loud and obnoxious stage of a remodel, especially if you're doing a basement, because what we're doing here is we are using a skill saw with a concrete blade and some water just to keep the dust down. But what we're trying to do is just cut through that slab so that we can build our trench. Right now we have the lines made, it's all cut through. Now we get the jackhammer and we break up that concrete into small pieces. We shovel it out into a pile, that way we can get rid of it and then save the good fill for backfill later. So check it out, we just installed the shower, that way the plumber can rough in his pipes. On the left, that's how we were gonna lay it out. Instead of a tub, obviously we're doing a shower. This is how it looks, a nice fiberglass shower, 4 foot. Over on this side, I put the blocking, that way he can use that for his shower valve. We're gonna put that right in the center there. When you walk in on your left, that's gonna be the vanity. We're gonna do a 36-inch vanity. And then we're going to have our toilet flange right there. The plumber showed up, so while they're doing what they have to do, let's go over our framing. So you walk down the stairs into this hallway. On the right, you have your living space. I think all of this flows very smoothly. You have your closet in the back. Then you have your bathroom, and then your office space there in the back. On the bottom plate, we are using a steel track, so that is not going to rot when it contacts the moisture that comes up from the slab. When the plumbers are done running their drains, now we're in the clear to go ahead and backfill with the sand that we used from the pile earlier. You want to leave a couple inches, that way you can pour your concrete and smooth it out level with the rest of the slab. At this point, the electrical, the plumbing, and the HVAC is all roughed in. Now we can go ahead and insulate the basement. In this case, we did the spray foam on the walls and on the ceiling, just to make this place as comfortable as possible and as energy efficient as possible. Now we can go ahead and drywall. And because we're in a basement, we decided to use a moisture resistant 1/2-inch drywall. Just helps prevent any mold or mildew from growing. But it's crazy how much you can really start to feel the space and feel how everything's gonna look once it's all done. When the drywall's all done, now we can go ahead and put our first coat of tape. So in between all those joints where the drywall meets the new drywall, you have to have a seam of tape there just to prevent cracking in the future. Then we go ahead and cover it with 2 more coats of whatever compound you prefer. And my apologies for not recording myself doing the taping. I know you guys probably wanted to see that. You can see that on some of my other videos. But as you can see, the joints and the seams are much wider now, so it's harder to see where those 2 pieces of drywall meet. So after you're primed and painted, it looks like one solid piece of drywall. This is after my 3rd coat, and after it's dried, what I like to do is walk around with a light and hit the wall at different angles. That's really just going to show you if there's any more blemishes or any other areas that need attention before you start to sand and prime. After the compound dries completely, we can go ahead and sand just to make the walls as smooth as possible, because you don't want to see those ridges or any humps in the wall after it's painted. This is also why choosing a good primer is important in your finish, because it's going to help hide the imperfections, it's going to seal the drywall, and it's also going to increase the adhesion for your paint to be able to stick to the wall so you don't have any chipping, flaking, or peeling later down the line. Some of you may be questioning why I'm using a sprayer and a roller, and honestly, it's just a lot faster than going back and forth with the roller from the wall to the bucket to the wall to the bucket. It just makes things a lot easier. Now this is the part that really excites the customer as well as myself, because once you step into the space, you can really feel the room and you can envision what it's going to be like in the future. You can also use this as an opportunity to look for any more imperfections in the wall. As you can see, the ceiling looks really smooth. You take a side look at this wall here, that looks nice and flat. We did a good job. So now we have to prep our floor so we have a good finished product. I just went around and did the primer everywhere. That's going to seal the floor so I can put the self-leveler on the floor. It makes the spread easier and it makes it stick to the floor better. And I went around and sealed the edges so the self-leveler isn't going to sneak its way under the walls. Then we mix and go ahead and spread it around. I use a squeegee to do so. And once I get enough material in a section, I go ahead with the metal rake and I just work the metal rake through it, and it just helps even out and spread everything. Now check this out. Look how flat everything looks. I'm using my spike shoes, so that's why I'm fine walking on it. The back corner is starting to dry up a little bit. The hallway was actually the worst part. It was off about 3/4 of an inch, and we cannot install flooring on top of that. Now everything's going to be right on the money. If you're curious what's in these landfills, look at this breakdown of the American landfills by waste type, with food, plastics, and paper leading the board. All right, enough about the garbage talk. Let's go check in on our floor. You can see here, there was a big, it was real concave here. So we don't want that. We don't want to, have the customer spend all this money and then you have a cheap floor, a bouncy floor that's gonna, feel like crap. So if you walk into here, we get a few bumps, like it's perfectly flat. So remember, when you're doing your flooring, you don't want any movement, because when you have movement, the boards are gonna start separating. I'm sure you've been in houses where it's like that. But no matter where you go in this basement, like you're dead nuts. I mean, you can't beat that. The floor's gonna last much longer, and it's gonna feel much flatter. Everything's just gonna be nice. Now that the prep for the floor is done, we have to install 5 doors, and she went ahead and chose the 2-panel door just to give it a more modern look. All right, let's see what they look like. So as you can see, I mean, the place already is starting to feel a little bit more modern. I feel like everybody has the 6-panel doors. Those are really like the original basic doors that are standard in every house. But I think a way to separate yourself from that kind of look is by going with a different door, like a 2-panel or even a 3-panel. I just think it helps, you know, personalize the space a bit. Now this is the part that can really start to stress out some homeowners, is actually the design process. I actually feel like this would be the more fun part, because now you can really design your home and make it how you want. So now people start to stress out about the paint color, the floor color, you know, what they're using for a trim. And the way I usually explain it to my customers is start from the floor up. You know, it's easy to see a color that you like, and then you're gonna have difficulties trying to find a floor to match it. What I think really works better is if you find your floor, get inspired from the floor, and then it's easier to pick a paint color off of that. The flooring style that the homeowner chose, she got it from Floor & Decor, and it's called Vintage Pewter Ridge Core Luxury Vinyl Plank, or LVP for short. And I like the style of floor. It has some browns, some tans, and some grays, which is in right now. Now that she has her flooring, now we have to go ahead and pick a paint color to go along with that floor. So because she's in a basement and you don't get a whole lot of natural light coming through the windows, she wanted to pick a paint that was more on the lighter, brighter side. So let's see what she went ahead and picked. This is Puppy Paws by Benjamin Moore. So now she went with a cream kind of peachy color, which is nice, but then now you have your floor that's brown and tan, so now you have a very, very neutral space, but it's gonna feel a little bland, which was my opinion. I offered her a pointer. I said, hey, well, it would be a good idea if we add an accent wall to the space. That way it'll give a little bit of personalization to the basement, so that way when you go down there, it has some life to it and it feels comfortable. So what I did is I Googled what colors go well with Puppy Paws, and it gave me 4 colors to choose from, and let's check them out and see what we end up picking. So now I'm curious, leave in the comments what color you would pick to go with Puppy Paws. We ended up choosing Heather Gray. A big reason that we picked this was because it's gonna go well with the earthy tones that the floor brings, and it gives a nice touch with the Puppy Paws right on the wall. So as you can see through our diagram here, this is what the living room will feel like. She loved the way the colors looked, so let's get going. So what we're doing is laying down a vapor barrier. This is just gonna help keep the moisture below the slab instead of coming up and ruining your floor, because if the moisture's coming up and getting dry and moisture and then dry, that over time that's gonna eat at your floor. So believe it or not, I actually like doing flooring, even though it kind of hurts my knees and my back, but it does feel good to get in the zone, get the radio on, and just bang it out with your partner. And this is the flooring all done. The homeowner is very excited, maybe a little more excited than I was. We are getting closer and closer to the finish line. So now just a reminder, I usually tell my homeowners to go to Floor & Decor to choose their flooring and then use the paint colors off of that. So we still have the bathroom tile that we have to pick. So when she went there, I mean, the Floor & Decor has, it feels like a million different tile styles, and I get lost in there. If I go there to pick up one thing, I start, you know, looking at tile and getting lost in there. So there's so many designs, any design you could possibly think, they have it there. So when she says, hey, Aaron, I got a tile, and this is what she picked. Pretty much just plain navy blue. It's a little dirty. But I was a little bit shocked, I can't lie. I was like, wow, so you have all those options available and you just choose a solid color? So I was a little surprised at this, but I was like, hey, it's your house, we'll see what you want to do. They recommended to use the color matching grout. It's basically like the same color as this tile here, so it would all be a navy blue floor. I thought that was a little interesting, so let's see how it looks, and I'll let you know my thoughts afterwards. The name of the tile is Industry Blue Porcelain Tile, and it's at $4 a square foot. So after working back and forth with her, we actually put the heather gray on top of this tile, and I actually think it looks pretty good. She agrees as well. I put the vanity in the toilet just to kind of see how it would look in our design, and she was absolutely head over heels, so that's the design we're gonna go with. So this is just a little sneak peek of what the floor looks like. I can't show you everything now, I have to make you wait. But we have to take care of the space behind the shower. And what I've done in previous jobs is I've put 3 cabinet doors here. That way you can store any kinds of, soaps and towels and washcloths. This is a job that I did in Lexington, Mass. The homeowner really loved this, so now I try to pitch it to my other customers. So what we have to do is just build the base to keep it off the floor so we can run our baseboard. Then we make our shelves, put our plywood in, do our face frame, and then we go ahead and put our cabinet doors on after. What we're gonna focus on now is making our window boxes so that we could apply our trim afterwards. Off camera, I already installed the windows, but it was so hot from this heat wave that we had that I had no desire to record or anything, which I'm a little upset about, but it's okay. You guys can look at other videos and be able to learn that. So what you're doing is you're building this box, and that's going to slide right up into the window, and it's going to be flush with the outside of the drywall. We're in the clear now to go ahead and install our baseboard. The product that we're installing is called Flat Stock. And the reason we chose this is it's a little bit more durable, and it looks good if you put a nice wide baseboard going around. It really makes the color and the flooring pop. It's simple, it looks good, and it's clean. And now it's time to paint. I felt so invested in this process that I actually wanted to give a thank you to the customer and give her this TV entertainment center that I ordered online just to really dress the space up. And I decided to have a meltdown. Now at this point, we basically covered everything that it takes to be able to take an unfinished basement and make it a finished basement. We covered installing a bathroom, digging the trench, framing the walls, the plumbers that get involved, drywalling, taping, priming, painting, all the kind of design process that goes into it, and installing the flooring, all your trim, everything like that. The only thing we have left in this video is to look at the finish.
3, 2, 1!
Now look at this place, it has been totally transformed. Look how nice everything looks. Everything is so comfortable, so cozy, so personalized to her taste. That's what I was really going for, because when people spend a lot of money like they do on stuff like this, you really want them to feel like they spent their money with the right person and in their right place, which is their home. The mini split works awesome. Ice cold AC. The heat works great for the winter. The TV entertainment system was lowered down. Now we walk and we can check out this bathroom. I mean, look at that. Tile job was excellent. It goes great with the heather gray on the walls. The vanity is nice and quality, sturdy. The shower glass door is going to be delivered next week. That's when we will install it. Now check out this custom cabinetry. You got plenty of space to put anything that you want in there. The customer was very happy about that. Now let's go over to the office space. You can see how bright it is. I mean, you have the natural light from the windows and the artificial light from the recessed lighting. Because she had so much storage stuff, I wanted to make sure I put another closet in here so she can just hide stuff behind the door rather than have it be out in the living space. Now look how everything flows so cleanly. I mean, you really have to be in this space to really appreciate it because it feels awesome. And I gotta admit, one of my favorite parts of this whole basement is this tile floor. I'm so happy that she proved me wrong, and I love being able to add different things to my design palette. With that being said, I am very happy how this job turned out. The customer and their family were very excited. They were great people. I loved working for them. As far as my body was very beat up at the end of this. It's a lot of labor, but that's why a lot of times it makes more sense to hire a contractor to get this done because they have the resources available and the tools available to make it happen. And if you like this video, or even if you didn't like it, at least tell me why in the comments. Don't be in the witness protection program. At least give me something to work with so that I can become a better contractor or a better YouTuber. So episode 4 is in the works right now. I'm doing an addition in Lexington, and I can't wait to show you guys the whole process on that because it's gonna be awesome. In the meantime, stay blessed by the best. Bye for now.